saluting everyone who has been moved to come here at this time to really name and shame and condemn, but also for us to find ways of ending this this savagery and this barbarism in our very midst. In this year, the year 2014, right here it's the capital city of Zimbabwe, and in broad daylight, and in a nation that really prides itself as a nation as maybe we pride ourselves in being the most educated nation in the whole of Africa. And this that we saw is definitely not that at all. And I want to, I'm speaking in three ways. One, as a woman myself, I think every woman who's sitting here and who's outside, it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what you are wearing or not wearing, because I think if we were to ask ourselves, we all have testimonies. I have a testimony that's just about last month, just a month old. I am turning 43 tomorrow. I was born in this city. I was born here in Harare. I live here. This is my city too. But, of the age that I am, I got to the distinct conclusion that it's not about what you are wearing. It's about being a woman. And I'm saying this because so I'm hearing the young women saying, young women, it's not about your age, it's not about it's not about that, because I had an experience just in Chinhoyi Street. In broad daylight, I was wearing a dress, I think like you're wearing a wraparound dress. I was coming out of my my hair, my hairdresser, and I really thought about this. There were these young men who were sitting around doing nothing, and that's one of our problems. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm passing by, and he makes remarks that it is sexual harassment. But I got very angry. I went back, I talked, and I threatened him in the best way that I know how. And I told him that, what you're doing is, you don't do that to women. You don't, I'm passing by, I have the right to pass by. You don't, whatever you're thinking and what you imagine, think it and keep it in your mouth. And it's against the law. You will be arrested. You cannot be calling things to women who are passing by. And I got very angry because I thought, I was pushed because I was able to turn back, and I instilled the fear of God in him with what I could do. But I just thought, what about the young women who are, that are passing by? And I remember, it's what would they say, what would they do? And there was a woman who followed, who was just close by, a fairly elderly woman who was wearing more, shakanya so naka, according to whatever it is. And she said to me, what she said to me made me think that I don't think that the women who are walking in the streets of Harare, whoever they are, whatever age they are, and whatever they are wearing, are safe. Because this woman said to me, well done, you did right by telling, but do they even listen? And and I think the women in Harare are afraid. I mean, it is not safe to walk in those streets, and we need to put an end to this. And I'm saying this, I'm speaking also as I'm the member of Parliament of Harare West constituency. And Harare Westerners use Copacabana rank. That's one of the places where this is happening. And like I'm saying, there are young women who come to town, there are girls, and whatever women they are not, and that's the other capacity that I'm really speaking in. And I want to just say that I want to really thank you again for doing what you have done. And I think it's a beginning. When we speak out like we are doing, it's a beginning of the action. You mustn't end here. And what I'm going to say is that I'm going to encourage us to start here and and come together and find ways of ending. There are causes of these things, and when we work on them, we work on them. And I just want to, as I was sitting here and I was thinking, but why is this happening today? Like you said, we have a constitution that it's hardly a year old. On 22 May last year, we voted for a constitution by 97%, and it was passed into law. And I want to just take you to section 3 on the founding values and principles. And and there are 8 of them that says that Zimbabwe is founded on respect for the following values and principles. And I think it's important that I read them out, as we think about what's happening here. Is this the Zimbabwe? Is the Zimbabwe in the constitution the Zimbabwe that we saw there? Because if it says that Zimbabwe is founded, it doesn't say it will be founded. It is founded on the following values and principles. And number 1, supremacy of the constitution. You talked about the constitution. is that supremacy of the Constitution that we see there? Number 2, the rule of law. Is that the rule of law that we saw there? And number 3, fundamental human rights and freedoms. I mean, the speakers have talked about that. Number 4, the nation's diverse cultural, religious, and traditional values. And she talked about fashion, dress, and style, and so on. As well, we have also founded on recognition of the inherent dignity and worth of each human being, including that young woman that we saw. Is that what we saw there? Because it says this is what we are founded on. And also the recognition of the equality of all human beings. Are touts more equal human beings than everybody else? Are men more equal? What is it that we are doing in the society? And gender equality. Is that gender equality that we are seeing there? And good governance. Is that good governance that we saw where a young woman gets stripped in broad daylight in a city, in the capital city? There's no evidence of any police, nobody, no, nothing. As well as recognition of and respect of the liberation struggle. You know, I think, like you were saying, is this respect for the liberation struggle? What is that? What are we doing? And I wanted to speak about Section 3 because I want to just say another list of things that I think, as we're expressing our outrage, as we're venting out and sending a statement to everybody, every stakeholder who has power to do this, including ourselves. I think we must address ourselves on the following issues. 1, it's about security. This is about security, the security of human beings, of women, of girls. I say this again because, you know, Section 52 of our Constitution says every person has the right to bodily and psychological integrity, which includes, and is this what we are seeing there, protection from all forms of violence from public and private sources. You know, that's we are entitled to that. And it says, well, Section 53 says everyone has a right to protection from torture, cruel and inhuman and degrading treatment. You know, I just want to say to that woman who we saw there, I really salute her, because one thing that it's a very dark and very frightening video, but I'm really encouraged by her, you know, by her composure. You know, but her human dignity is showing through. You know, she's surrounded by this horde, by this army, but it's, you know, she's right. She is protecting her own dignity. She has it, no matter what they are doing to her. And I want to say that, it's about violence. You know, I'm sure you can hear these men are saying, hooray, 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 hooray. So I want to pose this question: what kind of a society are we that says that animalistic, barbaric behavior that those men are exhibiting is more decent, is more respectable than huhure, whatever huhure is? I don't know, but are what they're doing better? If we were to find huhure and define huhure, is what they're doing better? You know, is it more that they have, what are our values? What is more important to ourselves? Is that animal behavior what is respectable and what is decent and what we are upholding, and that we find anyone wearing a dress that we don't like or of a particular shape that we don't like, we label it. Is that, what is that about?
I noticed was, we were closing the doors for the combis for this girl and they were dragging her out. Vanhu vasina zvekuita, pfungwa dzavo dzakaguma. Sorry zvako kana ina whoever who's a windy. But chese chinonzi windy for me, honorable, I don't know who will talk to, I will be there. Can we have them out? Atichada chinonzi windy. Atichada, I'm done. City of Harare then will label, kanavai gona ku label whatever roads for the Congress. They can label kuti pano kwirwa chisipiti pano kwirwa mfakosi pano kwirwa chakati. We are literate, we will read. Tinopamba. They've been changing the city left, right and center over the years. Gaba kuditsema with the chese chinonzi with the out. Please. Now
5 words, and I think like Rutendo, like it sits deep in my gut where I can't understand everything that I've had to do as a mother to raise my children, to live in a nation that looks like this. Because we worry about having enough money to pay fees for our children. We worry about putting food in their bellies. But what we really need to be worrying about is how safe they are the moment they leave our homes. So everything else that we're doing means nothing, because every day we let them out into a world that tells them it hates them. Because that is hatred for women. I can't find any other way of understanding what kind of stupidity. How does a human being behave in this manner? And like, what is bubbling in the psyche of these men? People are dragging a woman out of safety, and then they put her out to call her a hure. We have been raised to be educated by these women you call Mahure. But what they are doing is putting food on their children's plates and helping their families to survive. So, for me personally, I don't see it. What is problematic is the manner in which we are allowing. If women, it's the women's fault, because what do you expect them to do? We expect them to behave like human beings, because that's what they say they are.
Is my parliament. Everyone has a constituency on this body except myself. And I am tired. And I am sick of being sick and tired. There's nothing wrong with being a prostitute. Even the married women are prostitutes in themselves, because we are all giving a service of sexual satisfaction to men. Now, if those touts, that is my rank, that is Marondera rank, they have declared war with Sokostina, and I pick wars. And if you declare war with me, it does not end with people sitting in press conferences. Mine ends with action. That's my rank, my corner, my bus stop. I don't drive. A lot of people see me driving. That's not mine. That's a car for an organization. I park it and I hit that rank. If my young sister is being violated like that, and we all sit and say, no, we are sick and tired, and we want to talk to them, we are done talking. I am done talking. If you're still talking, it's okay. I'm a monkey. My chief business is to jump from branch to branch until I sort out an issue. Even if you're from UMDC, MDC, Malambo, wherever you are, if you're in an assembly and you're quiet, if you're in a league and you're quiet, you're wasting our time. We want a minister. Why don't we have a minister of women affairs right now? We have nowhere to go. We go to the ministry right now. Who are we going to talk to? We are tired. I'm tired. And this is war. It's being declared.
In my own capacity as a woman, I have walked in the streets. And what touches me the most is before even a man puts his hand on me, they feel they have the right to say something about it. Why do they have the freedom of expression to talk about us? We don't talk about them. Does it mean that we don't think things? We think things, but we are human beings, so we control ourselves. And I'm asking all the men in this country, it is time to control yourselves. You see what you see, can you let it go? Are we not human beings? Are we then exhibitions? Oh my God, it's fine. So can we not talk about my body? If we're going to have a discussion about my body, can you approach me and then talk to me about my body and not make it a public display? Number one. Number two, who determines what is a short skirt? Pane measuring stick, I wear 45 centimeters no short skirt. Because I've never seen that in any public place where it says this is what is called the short skirt.
Right, hi, my name is Tendai Garwe. I am an African feminist, and within my feminism I'm a women's rights activist, and I'm very passionate about women's issues, not per se boxed down to personal violation, but violation in its totality. And being a Zimbabwean, there is been a ripple effect of violations, of humiliation, downplaying of women in Zimbabwe, and I've gotten to a place where I'm tired, and enough is enough. And yeah.
So Tendai, you shared some very vocal sentiments about press briefings and, going to the workshops and discussions and meetings about these issues, but that the issues are not necessarily changing. We've just seen another video go viral of a woman being stripped at a combi rank. We've also had a video, the Gupuro video, of a woman being humiliated by what seems to be her in-laws for having an extramarital affair. Where are we going? We are doing the protest. We are out there and vocal, but the touts are not changing. Patriarchy seems to be very much still in place. So what strategies do you see as working now going forward?
You see, the reason why we're talking about patriarchy right now is that patriarchy keeps getting stronger because it uses the oppressed to further perpetrate oppression on themselves. And as you can see, the touts that were stripping and pulling and dehumanizing that young sister of mine are people who are protected by the system of patriarchy, because there's justification of how a woman dressed. And like we were saying, Kenya had the same "my dress, my choice," and I always say my body, my politics. Why is it that everybody wants to control this body, guy? Everyone wants to tell me how to dress, which size I'm supposed to be. I should be thin, I should be fat, and you get abused for everything and anything. You're barren, you're not giving birth, everything. Women should just realize that we are a target. We are the kick the cat syndrome. We are the cat. And I want us to realize as women that it's time we unite. It's time we unite against all these things that are happening. And I'm tired of us women going into conferences and talking to this and that and just doing chat. It's time we say no. And there was even in the press conferences, you heard someone say, let's even boycott the public transport. And even the woman you were talking about who was being violated by her in-laws, the issue is not that she had extramarital affair. The issue is how somebody, in his lack of his masculinity, felt that he needed to further humiliate because he couldn't take care of his own woman's sexual needs. Therefore, she had to go elsewhere to find them. So who's at fault here? She should be suing her husband for lack of satisfaction. Is there no law for that? There should be a law for it. So I want us women to stop this whole finger pointing and start unifying, because tomorrow it could be you. For anything. It could be men will find any excuse that you've got an afro, that you're wearing a weave, that you've got big boobs, or you've got none, that you're a virgin, that your clit is long or it's short, your labia minora is pulled or not, that they have genitally mutilated you or not. They have a reason to violate women, and we are tired.
So after the video, the Gupuro video came out, because I'm your Facebook friend, I noticed that you made a concerted effort to find the woman involved in the video, and it seems that you did find her.
Yes.
Now, that is a practical step that you took, but a lot of the times we're sharing this information and we're talking about the issue and not involving the person who is actually violated.
Absolutely.
In this situation.
And the first, and even this tout situation, we are calling out this young lady to come out so we can best help her. And the woman who is in the Gupuro video, I did find her, but she has said, I need time to regroup. She is very humbled and happy. She didn't know that there are a whole lot of women with #team for her, because it's not about she went and had sex with another man. It's about her property rights within that dissolved marriage. It's about the children's rights. Her children are going to see all this, and what are they going to do at school, and how they're going to be interacted within society. There are a lot of rights that we want to defend for her. There's that family, home, whatever it is that she wants protected. Women are saying enough is enough, because when men cheat, no one sits in a court of judgment and then starts saying you cheated against your wife, therefore we're giving you 2 rands for you to leave this woman. No, society makes you conceal it and tell you that you can't tell people you're less of a woman because your man left and found another woman. No, but I know that she is strong, and she will come out. She just wants time to rest, time to regroup, time to gain strength. And I send her messages almost every day to remind her that we are there and we are ready for her. And there are women all over Zimbabwe, from UN Women, from Her Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe, from everybody is saying when she's ready, if she presses the button go, we are going to support her. And that is what's important.
Your final message, Tendai, like I'm saying, you've taken a practical step here, which not many people actually think about taking. People watch and say it's sad and they move on, but you've taken the practical step. What practical steps can we take in the face of these ongoing violations that we have? And I'll give you a minute because we're running out of time.
Okay, and my practical situation is, first, wear the shoes of the violated. Or maybe it's easier for me, Fungai, because I've gone through different types of violations. So I'm quick to feel what's happening. So I want women, and especially, to stop saying it's a woman's movement issue. Because once you have a gut about it, welcome to the movement. You have been welcome to the movement. So it's not about corners and organizations. It's about the humanity and Ubuntu that we need to protect.
Thank you very much, Tendai.
I get so emotional. I hope I made sense.
Hello everyone, my name is Nyara Zomashaya Mumbe. I am the founder and director of Tege Life International, a girls' rights organization. I'm also a board member of the Women's Coalition of Zimbabwe. We are very much outraged by what's been happening, by the level of abuse and harassment of women, both young and old, because this has become an issue about women, an issue even about communities, an issue about our safety and security for women of Zimbabwe. And I think outrightly I feel let down. I feel let down by the policies. I feel let down by the law enforcement agencies. I feel let down by a community that tolerates a mediocrity, a community that is pervertive, a community that allows men not to take account, who are lawlessness, a community that refuses that women are human beings. We're only human beings in the face of many men. When people want to use us, when they want our vote, when they want ululating, when they want a whole lot of stuff that is not beneficial to women. But when it comes to real issues of women, I feel like this country is a very long way to go, but I think it defeats the whole purpose of independence. I mean, this is 34 years, we're getting into 35 years after independence, and independence is supposed to benefit everyone. Independence is supposed to benefit women, men equally. We have recently enacted a new constitution, a one that actually other people want to say it's a gendered constitution. Why? Because there is so much that it provides for women, it provides for equality, it provides for freedom of expression, it provides for everything that every person should be enjoying, but we are not. So for me, when we're looking at issues like women being violated in public spaces and private spaces, especially in public spaces, where was the police? For instance, every terminus there is always a police, there are always police people roaming around the terminus. When this thing happens, especially of the woman who recently was stripped, where was the police? And why were those people, how are they allowed to do that? I mean, it's uncalled for and unrealistic, and the reason I'll continue looking at the authorities that way, because that is a level of lawlessness that we have never seen in this country, that is not allowed in this country, that a woman goes within 3, 4, 5 combis and there is no law enforcement in the area. So I think this is a call, a very critical call for the law enforcement agencies to begin to implement their services, to say we are there to protect the people, women should be protected. Secondly, I don't see why we haven't caught those people. Why? Because the commuters, they are written. There is police that operates in that rank, and it's a crowd. Someone should be coming up. If we are serious about this issue, someone is supposed to come up and say we saw whoever. So I think it's just a matter of being serious. It's a matter of being serious about women's issues. And I want to reiterate that the police, it's not about how you feel when you see a woman being harassed. You don't have to think twice and think probably it could be me harassing, probably you are also harassing your own wife. It doesn't matter. You're there to do work, and your job is to ensure peace in this country, in these communities, and you're paid by taxpayers' money to do exactly that. And we require that police deliver. We require that they do their job. We require not only for people to be beaten up for political reasons, but also for our safety, because because everything centers around our safety, our welfare. We demand that we be serviced by our police, we be serviced. But even the city council, we're paying a lot of money to the city council to do work to protect women. So I'm just saying, even the Ministry of Transport, where are they? People are dying. We've been seeing people being run down by transport, by Vanwema Kombi, Matauta, Order. Where are these people? Where is the city council? Mukutora, Madola, and you're not giving us service. I think as Zimbabweans, we are educated to know what belongs to us. And I think time for us to be given lip service is over. We demand that city council provides their services. We demand that police do their work. We demand that the Ministry of Women Affairs also rises up. We demand the Ministry of Home Affairs to do their job. We demand that justice does its job. And we are saying, as women of Zimbabwe, we are tired, and we are tired of talking to you. We are tired of ululating for your party rallies. We are tired of supporting politicians who are not giving us any service. But so we are saying, as the ongoing processes, do your job, protect women, arrest these people with no Zimbabweans. Kana muchida ku stop lawlessness, you can do it. Women are important. Invest in it. Vachi wuri. Please protect the people. Release policemen to do their job. Kana wakamira pana forth. Ngavasango maisa nane makombi. Vasi ku provide a real service. True real service.